Welcome to Ingrid and Chris. Tonight, we're about to embark on an extraordinary journey to the Lost Kingdom of Stardust, a magical realm high above the clouds where stars are born and ancient secrets await. Get comfortable because this adventure will take us far beyond the stars. It was a calm and peaceful night in the moonlit forest, where the trees shimmered under the light of the full moon. Stella the Fox, a curious and adventurous little fox, was out exploring the forest with her best friends. Leo the Lion Cub, brave and full of energy, and Olive the Owl, wise and always calm. As they wandered deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon an ancient star map, hidden in a grove of glowing mushrooms. The map was etched with stardust, and it glittered in the moonlight. "What do you think it leads to?" Leo asked, his paws tracing the glowing lines of the map. Olive's large eyes blinked slowly as she studied the map. "This looks like a map of the night sky," she said thoughtfully. "It shows the way to the Lost Kingdom of Stardust." Stella's eyes widened with excitement. "I've heard legends about the Lost Kingdom. It's said to be a place where stars are born, and where the Starlight gem lies hidden. If we can find it, we'll uncover the kingdom's greatest treasure." Leo grinned. "An adventure to the stars! Count me in." With the star map in hand, the friends decided to embark on a journey through the night sky, following the trail of stardust to the Lost Kingdom. Following the map, the trio ventured through the moonlit forest until they reached the edge of a glowing lake. In the center of the lake, shimmering softly in the moonlight, was a silver stairway leading up into the sky. "This must be the way to the Lost Kingdom," Stella said, her heart racing with excitement. Leo looked up at the glowing stairs. "It looks like it goes all the way to the stars." Olive nodded. "We must follow it. The map says it will take us to the Stardust Bridge, the first step in reaching the kingdom." With determination in their hearts, the friends stepped onto the silver stairway. As they climbed higher and higher, the world below them disappeared, and they found themselves walking among the stars. The night sky shimmered all around them, filled with constellations and glowing comets. "This is amazing!" Leo said, his eyes wide with wonder. "We're walking through the stars!" Stella smiled. "We're getting closer to the Lost Kingdom! I can feel it!" As they continued their climb, the stairway led them to a beautiful, glowing bridge made of stardust, the Stardust Bridge. It sparkled with every step they took, leading them further into the night sky. As they crossed the Stardust Bridge, the friends noticed two guardians of the sky standing at the end of the bridge. The guardians were majestic creatures. One a large glowing phoenix with fiery wings, and the other a graceful stardust deer with antlers made of starlight. "Who seeks passage to the Lost Kingdom of Stardust?" the phoenix asked, its voice gentle but powerful. "We do," Stella replied, standing tall. "We're following the star map to find the kingdom and uncover its secrets." The stardust deer stepped forward, its antlers glowing softly. "To enter the kingdom you must first pass 3 trials: the trial of light, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of heart. Only then will the gates of the Lost Kingdom open." Leo, always ready for a challenge, grinned. "We're ready. What do we need to do?" The phoenix flapped its fiery wings. "For the trial of light, you must travel through the twilight caverns and bring back the star lantern, a glowing light that will guide you to the kingdom." The stardust deer added, "For the trial of wisdom, you must solve the riddle of the stars, a puzzle that only the wisest of creatures can answer." "And for the trial of heart," the Phoenix continued. "You must show great courage and compassion, for only those with a pure heart can unlock the gates." The friends nodded in agreement. They knew the trials wouldn't be easy, but they were determined to succeed. The friends were led to the entrance of the Twilight Caverns, a dark and mysterious place filled with glowing crystals and shadows that danced along the walls. "To pass the trial of light," the Phoenix said, "you must find the star lantern hidden deep within the caverns. It will be your guide through the night sky." Stella, Leo, and Olive ventured into the caverns, their paws softly padding on the crystal-covered floor. The caverns were filled with eerie sounds, and the shadows seemed to shift and move as they walked. "This place is spooky," Leo whispered, his tail twitching nervously. "Stay close," Stella said, her voice calm and steady. "We'll find the star lantern together." As they ventured deeper into the caverns, they spotted a faint glow in the distance. They hurried toward the light and found the star lantern, a beautiful glowing orb that shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars. "We found it!" Stella exclaimed, her heart racing with excitement. With the star lantern in hand, the friends made their way back to the entrance of the caverns. The Phoenix smiled as they returned. "You have passed the trial of light. The star lantern will guide you on the next part of your journey." For the next trial, the friends were led to a glowing constellation of stars, each star twinkling softly in the night sky. "To pass the trial of wisdom," the Stardust Deer said, "you must solve the riddle of the stars. Here is your riddle. I have no weight, but I can be seen. I have no voice, but I can be heard. What am I?" The friends huddled together, thinking carefully about the riddle. Leo scratched his head. "Something that can be seen, but has no weight, and something that can be heard, but has no voice." Olive, ever the wise one, blinked slowly. "It's the wind," she said softly. "The wind can be seen when it moves the leaves, and it can be heard when it blows, but it has no voice of its own." Stella smiled. "That's it! The answer is the wind!" As they called out the answer, the constellation of stars shimmered brightly, and the Stardust Deer nodded in approval. "You have passed the trial of wisdom. The gates of the Lost Kingdom are now one step closer to opening." For the final trial, the friends were led to the Bridge of Stars, a narrow bridge that stretched across a vast, starry canyon. The bridge glowed softly, but it looked fragile, as if it could disappear at any moment. "To pass the trial of heart," the Phoenix said, "you must cross the Bridge of Stars without fear. Only those with courage and a pure heart can make it to the other side." Stella took a deep breath. "We've come this far. We can do this." With the star lantern lighting their way, the friends stepped onto the bridge. As they walked, the stars beneath their feet twinkled, and the canyon below seemed to stretch on forever. Leo, who was usually fearless, hesitated for a moment as the bridge swayed beneath him. "What if we fall?" he whispered. Olive, ever calm, fluttered beside him. "We won't fall. We have each other." With renewed courage, the friends continued their journey across the bridge. Step by step, they made their way to the other side, their hearts full of bravery and determination. As they reached the end of the bridge, the Phoenix smiled. "You have passed the trial of heart. The gates of the Lost Kingdom are now open." At last, the friends stood before the gates of the Lost Kingdom of Stardust, a magnificent palace made of glowing stardust. The gates shimmered with light, and as the friends approached, they slowly opened, revealing the kingdom inside. The kingdom was even more beautiful than they had imagined. The sky was filled with twinkling stars, and the palace towers reached high into the heavens. The air was filled with the soft sound of music, and the ground sparkled with stardust. "We made it!" Stella said, her eyes wide with wonder. "We found the Lost Kingdom," Leo grinned. "This is incredible! Look at all the stars!" Olive nodded. The Starlight gem must be here, hidden somewhere within the palace. As they entered the kingdom, they were greeted by a pathway made of glowing crystal, leading them deeper into the heart of the Lost Kingdom. Along the way, they saw beautiful fountains that sparkled with liquid starlight, glowing flowers blooming along the sides, and statues of ancient guardians that seemed to watch over them. In the distance, the magnificent Stardust Palace towered above them, its walls shimmering with the light of 1,000,000 stars. At the top of the highest tower, they saw a bright glow, the legendary Starlight gem. "There it is," Olive said softly. "The Starlight gem!" Stella's heart raced. "Come on, we're so close." But as they moved toward the palace, the ground beneath them began to tremble. Suddenly, a massive figure made of stardust rose up in front of them, a giant, shimmering guardian of the kingdom. Its eyes glowed with the light of 1,000 stars, and its voice echoed like thunder. "Who dares to enter the Lost Kingdom of Stardust?" the guardian boomed. "We've come to find the Starlight gem," Leo said bravely, stepping forward. "We've passed the trials of light, wisdom, and heart. We've earned the right to be here." The guardian looked down at them, its glowing eyes narrowing. "The Starlight gem is not simply a treasure to be claimed. It is a symbol of the light that shines within all living things. To take the gem, you must prove that your hearts are pure." Olive nodded. "We're ready to prove ourselves." The guardian slowly lowered its hand, revealing a glowing pathway leading up to the palace gates. "Very well. But know this, the true test lies ahead." As the friends moved forward, the guardian disappeared into the stardust, and the path ahead of them began to glow even brighter. They could feel the magic of the kingdom all around them as they approached the gates of the palace. As they stepped into the kingdom, the air was filled with the soft hum of starlight and distant music. All around them, glowing trees and sparkling flowers filled the landscape. In the distance, a magnificent palace made of pure stardust shimmered under the starry sky. Stella, Leo, and Olive looked around in awe. "This place is even more beautiful than I ever imagined," Stella said, her eyes wide with wonder. Leo nodded. "But where do we find the Starlight gem?" Before anyone could answer, a gentle voice echoed through the air. "Welcome, travelers," it said. "I have been waiting for you." A glowing figure emerged from the stardust, an ancient star guardian. Her form was made of twinkling stars, and her eyes shone like the night sky. "You seek the Starlight gem," she said, "but it is not hidden in this palace. The true treasure of the Lost Kingdom is the friendship you have shown and the courage you have displayed." Stella, Leo, and Olive exchanged glances. "But the legends," Stella began. The Star Guardian smiled. "The legends are true, but the Starlight gem is not a jewel. It is the light that shines from within you. By working together, you have unlocked the greatest treasure of all." As she spoke, the stars around them began to glow even brighter. The entire kingdom sparkled with light, and the friends felt a warm glow fill their hearts. "You are the Starlight gem," the Star Guardian continued. "Your friendship, your bravery, and your kindness, these are the qualities that light up the world." The friends stood in silence for a moment, letting the words sink in. Then Stella smiled. I guess we did find the greatest treasure after all. Leo grinned. And we had an amazing adventure along the way. Olive nodded. The Lost Kingdom of Stardust has taught us that the most important things aren't jewels or treasures. They're the things we carry with us in our hearts. As the night began to fade and the first rays of dawn appeared on the horizon, the Star Guardian led the friends back to the gates of the Lost Kingdom. Your journey is not over, she said. Though you leave the kingdom now, the light of the stars will always be with you. Stella, Leo, and Olive nodded, their hearts full of gratitude. The Star Guardian raised her hand, and a beam of starlight surrounded the friends. In an instant, they found themselves back on the Bridge of Stars, the glowing path that led them through the night sky. As they crossed the bridge, they looked back one last time at the Lost Kingdom. The stars twinkled brightly, as if bidding them farewell. We'll never forget this adventure, Stella said, her voice soft. Or the friends we made along the way, Leo added. Olive smiled. The stars are always watching over us. Whenever we need a little light, we can look to the sky and remember. The friends continued their journey back through the night sky, their hearts full of the magic and wonder of the Lost Kingdom of Stardust. When the friends returned to the moonlit forest, the world seemed a little brighter. The stars above twinkled with a new light, and the trees shimmered with a soft glow. As they sat beneath the glowing trees, Stella looked up at the sky. Do you think we'll ever go back to the Lost Kingdom? Olive smiled. The Lost Kingdom is always with us. It's in the stars, and it's in our hearts. Leo grinned. And as long as we stick together, we'll always have the light of the stars guiding our way. The friends sat together, watching the stars twinkle above. And in that moment, they knew that no matter where their adventures took them, the light of friendship would always shine the brightest. With hearts full of light and wonder, Stella, Leo, and Olive drifted off to sleep, knowing that their journey to the Lost Kingdom of Stardust was only the beginning of many more magical adventures to come. Thank you for joining Ingrid and Chris for tonight's magical bedtime story. Remember to subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you never miss another enchanting story. Sweet dreams, and may the stars always shine brightly for you.